This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Always good to be joined with Andy Clarke. We've just commenced another top tier show. Obviously, you was on commentary on DAZN. I guess Elliot Wells stopping Lloyd Germain inside 4 rounds. What was your observation of, I guess, the whole night?
It was good. You know, that's a good win for Wale. He's obviously got some heavy hands. I've heard about him but not really seen him before, but that first knockdown probably didn't look like much because Jermaine just touched down. He didn't actually go down, but I think it stayed with him. And when you get hit like that and it stays with you, you don't recover. And at that point, really, the writing's just on the wall. And I think that was what happened there, basically. I really enjoyed the Southern Area super middleweight title fight, S.A. Smith and James Osborne. That to and fro. Osborne started well. Smith dominated the middle, had a 10-7 round, and then Osborne, I thought, really dug in towards the end, but the right man got it. Laley Buttigieg, who I kind of know from Newham from a few years ago, I thought he looked really good. Lily Winch I thought looked good. It was a good card. We didn't get many stoppages, but still, it was none of the fights really dragged. You know, it was good. It was fun.
I was going to say that, like, when I speak to Johnny, it was always about making a statement, and I think we got entertaining fights. To say that there was a lack of stoppages, but as you say, I think when people look back on it, they were entertained, especially on DAZN as well.
Yeah, and there's a good few fighters making debuts, and that's always good. I'm always really interested in seeing a professional debut. I thought Harvey Smith, who was on early, he was good, and he's got a good setup here. You know, they sell tickets well. Last show I did, they had Jimmy Saint and George Liddell kind of on loan, who boxed towards the top of the bill, which is great for them, and they sold some tickets. And he did the same thing with Buttigieg. It's clever, you know, you need to think outside the box a bit, don't you? Because everybody wins there, because the fighter gets the experience of boxing late rather than early. Boxing early on a big show and being around a big show all week is great for them, but so is this. And the promoter gets the bonus of them selling a load of tickets for him. So, yeah, those are the things you have to think about if you're going to make this work, and he does well with that.
I was going to say, is that something you like? Like, Johnny calls himself the Academy of Boxing, and you see it like, it's almost like, we're seeing actually more happen with other promoters as well, like I say, you're having that experience of sort of fighting late, having that crowd and having that extra pressure as well.
Yeah, I think it works really, really well. And, you know, if he continues this link up with DAZN, then why wouldn't Matchroom loan him a few more of the Essex-based fighters? Like John Hedges was here tonight, for example. Why wouldn't you do it with him? Give him a chance to box kind of towards the top of the bill. Johnny Fisher's kind of moved past it already because he's able to headline kind of like small arena shows. Terrible luck with the injury. He looks absolutely gutted tonight, but he's kind of an unusual case. But they've got plenty of guys who are based around Essex, East London, who can sell tickets, who they can do this with.
Absolutely, for sure. I guess we'll sort of move on to a much bigger stage. 21st September is only 2 weeks away now. You know, we've had a lot of notice for this fight, and a lot of opinions have been given as the whole time has gone on. For yourself, I guess, where do you stand 2 weeks from now? You know, a lot has been said between both camps, especially from Don Charles and sort of the AJ camp as well. Has there been much, I guess, flip-flopping across this period to get to now?
I'm just really, really excited about it. I think it's going to be absolutely huge. You know, you've got 3 networks working on it for a start who are all going to pump it up as much as they can. You've got all the promotion from the Saudis. The latest promo is just what we come to expect from them now, although you can never predict what they might do with those. The fight itself, the nearer we get to it, the more of a chance I give Dubois. I still make Joshua a favourite, but the more of a chance I give Dubois, because I quite like the way that he was around Joshua in the press conference and when they did that sit down. There's no fear there. And it's easy, if you like, to be brave a few months out, but I don't think there will be during the week either. I think he's turned a bit of a corner with that, Daniel, where he absolutely believes in himself now. The danger is that maybe he believes in his own toughness a bit too much off the back of taking all those right hands from Hrgovic, and if he tries to do that against Joshua, it could be an early night for him. But equally, self-belief it matters a lot. It really, really matters, and he punches hard. And what his team will be telling him is they'll be saying to him, listen, never mind all this AJ rebuild, AJ 2.0, got the old magic back stuff, never mind that. Yeah, he can crack hard, we know that, but what's he going to do when you stick it on him? Do we know yet whether he's completely recovered from what happened against Ruiz? That's what they'll be telling him, and that's what they should be telling him. it's going to be great. You know, when those two ring walk in front of 96,000 people, it's going to be tremendous. Two Brits, and he's legit Dubois because you know he won that fight against Sergovic. But Joshua has looked really good in his last few fights, really good. And you can always pick holes and say, well, Ngannou technically was an 0-1 novice, but we saw what he did against Fury, and whether Fury trained or whether he didn't train, it happened. And then he absolutely flattened Ngannou in the most brutal way you can possibly imagine. So I can't wait for it. At the whole card, actually.
I was about to say that, like, moving on, and my final question would be, like, I was at the Booth Gym the other day speaking to Josh Kelly. His fight with Liam Smith is one that really interests me. You know, it's so hard to pick one, but is there any one fight that you could pick that's like that's like the main event of the undercard, I guess?
I do really like that one, but I do like Warrington Kakache as well. Simon Legg's in the background there. Simon Legg's in the background there. But I mean, you could pick out any of them, really. We saw Errol Johnson just walk past in. He had a quick chat with him a minute ago. He's got Tyler Denny against Hamza Shiraz, which does feel like, you know, a pretty big ask given what Hamza's looked like. But Tyler Denny's on a hell of a roll, isn't he? So you just you can't rule anyone out. But Buatsi Hutchinson is not the fight you would have thought would have been competitive a year ago. It just wouldn't have been made, would it? But Hutchinson's stepped up against Craig Richards, and now you're thinking, you know, that's got some spice to it as well, because they didn't exactly get on great, did they, during the press conference week. I think it probably is Liam Smith, Josh Kelly, though, because a lot of questions have been asked of Kelly. He had a bit of a mental block, I think, earlier in his career, and he'd get himself into such a state of hypertension and anxiety almost by the time fight week came around. The nervous energy would just drain out of him. And it sounds like a bit of an excuse, but that's what happened, and that's fatal. Liam has been around, proven, and on his night, very good. How much does he still want it? If you can't get up for this, then it's time to go, isn't it? So I think he will be up for it, and that's probably, that was probably my favourite of the undercard, I would say.
Absolutely, I agree. But yeah, Andy, as always, a pleasure to see you. Always good to speak to you as well, mate. Appreciate your time as always. And yeah, I think next time we probably will be catching up maybe on Fight Week of the 21st September. So I look forward to that and look forward to seeing you, mate. Top man, thank you, mate. Cheers.